The Race of Champions in Barbados required a unique figure-of-8 track construction. Here we get the lowdown on design.
Motorsports elite, past and present, lined up at Bushy Park Race Circuit to test their skills against a course that provided a unique parallel racing concept.
All you need to be is quicker than the guy you're racing, and that ultimately means just having a tidy line, rolling the car through the turn, actually trying not to slide too much, because although sometimes it helps you turn the car, it also costs you time as well.
Former rally driver and Race of Champions co-founder Michele Mouton was the person tasked with this one-off track design.
The first thing to do is first to have a drawing and a map and to try to see where you can have your parallel track all the time. We took the circuit like it was, and from one normal racing track, I tried to design a parallel track on that. So mainly what we did, it's all the big straight line we divided in two because the width of the track was wide enough to be able to have 6 meters on each side for the drivers and to go from point A with the start of the arch, both tracks coming back to the point B behind at the end of the arch.
Key to the racing concept is the crossover bridge, allowing the drivers to race on either side of the track.
So the bridge has to be as long as possible and smooth as possible. This is the first constraint. And the second point, you also need to have a bridge which is not too high, so lowest as possible to make it smooth as possible. That's the only 2 constraints that I have.
Drivers also have to adapt their driving style, race by race, as the Race of Champions featured 7 different cars.
In the garage, they can give you a quick explanation, but when you go out, you're on the start line. So, you know, with the Polo, there's a sequence you have to do for the turbo to take away the lag, you know, hold the handbrake, push a button, full throttle, and dump the clutch. That's completely different to the Aerial Atom, which is a traditional H-pattern box, and you just have to drive away and try not to get too much wheel spin. Although I'm retired as a racing driver, all of my Formula 1 career was done with semi-automatic boxes, so it's quite unusual to have to take your hand off the wheel. So there's a lot of different things that you have to get a feel for before you even worry about profile of the corner.
The elevation, the apex, and the speed of each corner is meticulously calculated in the design process.
With experience now, I know that's no point to make a lot of corners. It's better to have less corner, but interesting corner, wide corner, open, that the driver can enjoy driving a car in a very, very narrow place, comparison to what they are used to drive and where they are used to drive.
Taking high-speed corners at up to 140 kilometers per hour means it's vital to find grip in the racing line.
You've got to look at it as 2 separate tracks, because although one is following the other, the profile of the turns in some places is a lot tighter. You know, the outer line on the last corner, of course, is much more open, much faster, but as a consequence the car slides, so you have to lift out, where the inner line on the last corner, it's tighter, lower speed, so you can power all the way through it. And there's advantages and disadvantages in both. So in the end, the width of the track is largely determined, so you just have to drive quite a shallow line.
Adapting best and adhering to his own advice, former Formula 1 driver David Coulthard was eventually crowned Champion of Champions in Barbados.